Hello everyone, I am Ayush Sharma, first year student at SJMSOM, IIT Bombay. Today we have with us three distinct alums, Nihar Dave from the batch of 2016, Shrey Jain from the batch of 2017, and Bansal Patel from the batch of 2021. And the agenda of this meet is to share the experience of alums in different walks of corporate life to guide the P School aspirants and to answer some queries and break some myths related to SJMSOM. So without much ado, let us start with the discussion. So please introduce yourselves and tell us something about your journey after passing out from SJMSOM. Nihar, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Ayush. So, hi everyone. I'm Nihar Dave. Like Ayush mentioned, I graduated from the 2016 batch, and I've had quite an interesting journey from the time I have graduated. I think I initially joined 2016 through summer internship at Asian Paints, and I initially had a manufacturing stint with them at their Kasna plant. Really interesting time because the plant was undergoing an automation at that time, and I was handed the responsibility of overlooking the end-to-end stabilization of that automation. Followed by that, I took over the plant as a planning manager, again in a core supply chain domain. Followed by that, I moved to a corporate role where I looked after a supply chain transformation. Again, at a very, very interesting time when COVID had hit, and there was a need in terms of looking at how to really make our supply chains more agile. And I had a wonderful opportunity of working at a level that's directly interacting with the CEO and the CXOs of other organizations. And we designed a new network for Asian Paints. We brought in a lot of new softwares, and that kind of led me to my new role, which was in consulting, and something I had always been wanting to do. So then I moved into strategy consulting with Accenture Strategy, and I've been working with them for a year and a half now. And right now I help clients in all aspects, all the way from the core expertise that I've had in terms of the supply chain transformation of supply chains, as well as the digitization, which is a current trend, as well as certain areas around growth as well as go to market. So I think it has been an interesting journey. One step has led to another, but I'm really liking the way it's shaping up right now.
Thank you, Nihar. Shrey, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Ayush, and thanks for inviting. As I mentioned, my name is Shrey. I graduated from SOM in 2017. I had two options after graduation. I had a PPO from Deloitte based on my internship, and a PPO from GP as well, based on my performance in game plan. So I chose GP, which was into management consulting and strategy consulting. I spent 4 years in GP. I started as a senior consultant, and when I left, I was working as a manager. Throughout 4 years, I worked with different organizations who were my clients, such as Petronas, Unilever, McDonald's, Caterpillar, so on and so forth. I got an opportunity to travel to client locations and meet them face to face as well. I worked on multiple projects of variety, such as strategic sourcing, should cost modeling, sensitivity analysis, process transformation, procurement transformation, digital transformation, so on and so forth. Based on those 4 years, I kind of reevaluated my career choices, my likings and dislikings for my future career. And I wanted to pursue more opportunities in process transformation. So I switched my job and moved into Rolls-Royce, which is based out of UK. They have an office in Bangalore. At Rolls-Royce, my job is primarily focusing on process transformation, mostly inward-looking processes, which facilitate different Rolls-Royce employees to do their job better. So it's been a year at Rolls-Royce. I'm really enjoying it, and let's see where this career journey takes me ahead. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you, Shrey. Bansal, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Hi Shrey. Hi Nihar. Hi Ayush. So I am relatively recent batch pass out compared to the other two. So my to tell about my journey, I passed out from SOM in 2021, and post that I joined ICICI Bank as a solutions manager. So there I learned about the overall lending practices of the small and medium enterprises. So I had the opportunity to meet and understand businesses ranging from pharmaceutical to paints to chemicals, and there were a few traders also of different materials related to plastics, and then other chemical industry, so raw materials which are required to produce a different variety of equipments. So I understood the overall business model of those customers and what were their lending needs. So I worked about quite close to 1 year in ICICI Bank, and then I recently joined Bank of America as a financial institutions group analyst. So currently I'm aligned in the EMEA region, and I look into banks, insurance companies, asset management companies, and the fintech companies M&A deals. So here also again the role is quite different than what I had worked in ICICI Bank. So as you are aware that banks and insurance companies have a very different reporting standards compared to the most of the other industries. So here I look at what are the overall regulations in those countries which operate where these companies operate, and what are the M&A opportunities. So and the major work revolves around the transaction comms benchmarking, ranging from transaction comms benchmarking to uh, multiples analysis, and as well as the comparative analysis between various peers. So it's been a good learning experience for me, and I think SOM helped me a lot in terms of the overall setting up the foundation for the career that I'm currently pursuing. So yeah, grateful for that.
Thank you, Bansal. I think today we have a wide range of people from diverse industries and expertise. So I think we're going to have a great discussion today. So I believe that an MBA college has a huge impact in shaping your career. So can you please share how SJMSOM has helped you mold your careers? Shrey, you can go ahead.
Sure, Ayush, thanks. So since you specifically focused on SJMSOM, I think I'll focus on what distinguishes SJMSOM from other colleges. When I was selecting my college for MBA, I could clearly see some facts. Number one was batch strength. It is not as huge as other B schools in India, which helps to have a very healthy faculty to student ratio. Not only that, in fact, it creates a very good, I would say, interaction between seniors and juniors. So Nihar was in my senior batch, and since the batch strength is, batch size is small, you have a very good personal connect with all your seniors and juniors. So that helps you in your peer learning. So that's one of the biggest advantages, if you ask me how SJMSOM has molded my career, because there are no inhibitions to contact seniors, because you would have at least spoken to them twice or thrice during your stint in MBA, right? Additional benefit is you interact with such a diverse crowd at SJMSOM because it sits within the IIT campus, and IIT has multiple streams: engineering, architecture, design, MBA, so on and so forth. So you get an opportunity to talk to so many streams. You get a holistic perspective. You build a very strong network which you can contact even after graduating. And trust me, when you are in corporate, especially in streams like consulting, you have to get information quickly from any source, and that's when this network really comes handy. The other aspect which I heavily exploited in SJMSOM was the campus facilities such as libraries and sports facilities. SJMSOM is really blessed to have such a beautiful campus and so many world-class facilities that students can go and use anytime. In fact, even graduation, you can use those as an alum, right? So those kind of things add to your academics. When you talk about academics, they are there in all the colleges, but these kind of things, batch size, diverse peers, networking, world-class facilities for extracurriculars, these make you not just a good professional, but also a very comprehensive person, because it develops your personality from all the angles. I'm sure other alums also have a lot to add here, so I'll keep my answer short. But these were 3 to 4 aspects, which have molded my career in SJMSOM.
So rightly said. Thank you, Shrey. Nihar, you can go ahead.
Sure. So I think I'll pick up from what Shrey was mentioning, and the thing that's unique about SOM is that SOM provides a wide avenue of opportunities in terms of exploring what you want to do, right? And the more you spend time in the industry or in general in your career, you really realize the value of that over a period of time. So there is this entire ecosystem that we have here in IIT Bombay, where you have an incubation center if you want to become an entrepreneur, right? You have the chances to take up engineering subjects for your own credits if you want, or from any of the other streams that you have. And I in fact took up a language just to learn Spanish. So it's like that, right? You get very, very unique opportunities which are very specific only to IIT Bombay. So for example, during my 2 years, we got one chance working with Hershey, where they wanted folks who had both a technical as well as a business acumen, and they wanted to come up with a new product which was a slightly more technical kind of a thing, right? And very specifically they targeted our college, and we had a wonderful 15-30 day engagement with them, where we went all the way from conceptualizing the product to going to the tinkerer's lab and actually creating a prototype around that. So this is a kind of experience I don't think would be available at any of the other B schools, or the kind of opportunities that IIT Bombay provides is something I feel is absolutely unique. So yeah.
Bansal, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll just like to sum up and add a few points and my experience of my own based on what Shrey and Nihar, I think they've covered most of the points. The one thing which I felt was compared to other colleges, like Shrey mentioned, since the batch size is low, we have a very good, we can build a very good relationship with most of our batchmates over the period of 2 years. Like in other colleges, I have seen that although they are from the same batch, but since the number of divisions are so much, so sometimes after the induction, they hardly meet during the course of the 2 years. So here, I think even in terms of the seniors, I have had the opportunity to interact with most of the seniors, and many of them are still in touch. And that is something that on a personal level, I feel that it adds a lot of value over the long run. And also the kind of diversity that SOM has in terms of its batch size and the work experience that they come from prior to MBA, since it emphasizes on the prior work ex also. So I think that also adds a lot of learning through peers in terms of what they have worked, what sectors they have worked into, and that over the period, since we are also sometimes not sure about what we want to pursue after completing our MBA, so learning about our peers' experiences in similar sectors also like helped me to understand like what sectors I want to work into. So I think those are some of the points that I really liked about the SOM. And like Shrey mentioned, that the sports facilities is something that is very unique to SJMSOM and the overall IIT ecosystem, since right now I am located in Mumbai only. So I regularly have that opportunity to visit that campus. And from there also, even if we mention through some sports that I'm currently an alum, so those connections also kind of build up over the period of time, although they are not from our same streams. So I think these are some of the points that are very unique to SOM, and yeah, I think that is it.
Yes, rightly said. There's the huge ecosystem, ITV ecosystem gives you a great leverage in terms of opportunities and a lot of things which are present over here. So I think we can go on to the next segment, wherein I personally have observed that there are many myths regarding an MBA from an IIT. So can you guys please share with us like what was your perception like before joining MBA at IIT, and after like so many years, like 7 years for Nihar now and 6 years for Shrey after passing from SJMSOM. So can you please share your experiences? Nihar, you can go ahead.
Sure, 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 sure. So I think the first question that anyone asks whenever you say you have an MBA from IIT Bombay is that, oh, does IIT also offer an MBA, right? And then there is a very, very clear doubt in people's mind that how does a technical institute really offer the kind of diversity or the kind of business oriented experience? But I feel that over a period of time, SOM as a college, as an institute, has been able to bring out its own niche in this entire business field, and the entire myth that we have around ki, array, how will an engineering institute offer something around business has we are kind of past that. But again, when I had also joined, one of the doubts that I also had was similar. But then I looked at the kind of profs that we have, the faculty that we have. I looked at the kind of experience they've been holding and the backgrounds that they come from. I looked at the kind of batch that we were getting into, or the kind of profiles that were coming in for SOM. And I realized that all the elements that you find in a top B school are already there, and on top of that you kind of have the piece that we were just talking about in terms of the entire ecosystem, the entire many more avenues that you want from standpoint of exploration available to you, and that kind of made my choice easy between the multiple calls that I had, and kind of you know uh, coming in for an MBA here.
Sure. Thank you, Nihar. Shrey, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Ayush. And I'll just extend on what Nihar said. A lot of people have this question. It's a technical institute, and what's does it really offer MBA? But I think both those streams, right, in IIT are equally good. If I have to put it in a humorous way, it's when you talk about Hrithik Roshan, right? He's good at dancing and good at acting as well. You really can't say that, oh, he's good at acting, he can't dance. No, that's not the case, right? So the whole IIT system is such that it has all courses are pretty good, whether it's engineering or management or architecture, design, all are world class and sought after. So I would urge all students to eliminate that hesitation from their mind. A lot of time the other hesitation is before joining, it's the batch size. People always say, oh, it's a small batch size, so will peer learning really happen? But when you enter and experience things yourself, you understand, smaller batch size is always better for all the reasons that we all explained earlier. Because small batch size it's more like a collaboration, and it's not a competition. When you talk about batch size of 400, 500 and 700, it's competition between everyone. But at SOM, it's always about collaboration with your batchmates, seniors, everyone. So though that could be one of the myths people have, will my peer learning be limited because of batch size? That's absolutely not true, because it will in fact enhance your learning when you come to IIT Bombay and SJMSOM in particular. Other thing I have seen, I'm not going to put any institute in bad light, but I've seen a lot of B schools nowadays focus a lot on packaging, how they market their students and how their students are, delivering what they have learned. I think in SJMSOM there is a very good balance between packaging and content as well. So students are able to present themselves well, plus they have content to talk about also, because of the faculty and the holistic growth you get, because you definitely get knowledge not just around management but from other work streams also, given your peers are from different departments. So IIT students have content They have good packaging, which makes SJMSOM students a very strong professional in the corporate world. I'll just take a pause here. I hope that answered the question you're looking for, Ayush.
Yes, sure. So it's just so rightly said that it's not about the competition, it's more about collaboration, because the group size is small enough, and then people are able to have a very good peer learning among each other. And there are some more myths which I also wanted to would add on over here, that people think that it's only in college for engineers, but anyone and everyone from any discipline and any stream can apply in the college. So that's also one myth which I would like to break right now over here. And we'll move on to the next question. It's like that you all have been working in the corporate world for quite some time, and you would definitely have a great opportunity to work with people from different B schools. So I have a question: that is there any specific difference in terms of either academics or extracurriculars that stands us apart from the rest? So you can go ahead, Shrey. You can go ahead with this.
Yeah, sure. So since it's about comparison, right? There are two types of B school courses, right? Some are 1 year, others are 2 year. So if you compare it with 1 year MBA courses, the students who do those courses, they don't get an opportunity to do the internships, right? So they have limited understanding of how the corporate world is after doing the management course from B school, right? So what I've seen is some of the graduates from 1 year colleges, they tend to have that limited understanding of the domain or field they have entered into, right? And then they grow impatient and they just feel, they are not right fit for what they are doing and they want to keep trying something else. The benefit of 2 year course is always that, you get internship, you get more time, you get to study more courses, you get a lot of opportunities to interact with alumni, peers, faculties. So it enriches your perspective, right? So that's how I would compare with the 1 year course. If you talk about 2 year courses, now there are a lot of institutes which offer that. But even in that case, SJMSOM and IIT Bombay, I would say would lead the other colleges, purely because of one reason that we have spoken is batch size. But the other benefits are the location of college. It's in Mumbai, right? And Mumbai, as everyone says, is land of opportunities, and that goes for B school graduates also. I remember for some of the electives in SJMSOM, faculty collaborated with Tata Foundation and TIS as well, so that the course is not just limited to textbooks, but students also go out of the campus to do some practicals, and interact with society, create that impact. So these kind of opportunities are available only in cities like Mumbai, given the size and dimension that Mumbai simply has, So even if I compare SJMSOM's 2 year course with other colleges, these kind of attributes, right? Location, the network, because you can do projects with the other departments also, right? You don't have to limit your projects to just your management course. Do it with maybe data science team or design team, right? You will still get your grades and it will help you build a very strong perspective when you enter into corporate. Because trust me, when you enter in the corporate, you have to deal with so many different functions and teams, which may not be part of your curriculum in academics. But when you do your MBA in SJMSOM, you interact with so many people organically and inorganically that it gives you a new dimension to your understanding, which helps when you enter corporate. And the graduates from other colleges don't have that dimension, so they struggle a bit. There are a lot of specifics. One of the example I have just given you, but in the interest of time, I'll just limit my answer till here. But the best things I have focused, which give SJMSOM upper hand is location, batch size, diverse peer networking, resources like libraries, faculties, access to third-party documents, etc., etc.
Thank you, Shrey. Anyone who would like to add? Bansal, yeah, can add on.
Sure, I'll go. So I think uh, in IIT Bombay, the 2 years that you spent, I think you realize the value a little later in terms of the kind of experiences that you get uh, in terms of interacting with the industry leaders, right? So being in Bombay, you get a significant exposure to folks at leadership levels across the board, right? As well as in terms of the upcoming and the cutting edge trends that are there, right? So we learned about words like VUCA and all the uncertainties well before COVID had hit, right? We learned about. So I'm coming in all the way from 8 9 years before today, and when we talk about the AIs, the MLs, these were the things that we had experienced firsthand in their, so to say, infancy, and we got a chance to work with those areas just by the virtue of being here in the ecosystem where all the action is. And on top of that, again, you get an experience in terms of your summer internships are obviously your corporate kind of you get a lot of opportunities with corporates, but at the same time you have the sign, which is the in-house incubation center that I talked about, and you have so many internship opportunities with those kind of organizations as well, where you kind of go and help them solve some of their problems, or so for example, I had worked for M76 analytics over there, where we had kind of designed a new methodology for awards for certain financial performances across public sector units. So the point that I'm trying to drive home here is that you get the chance to work with corporates, you get the chance to interact with leaders, you get the chance to have a flavor or a taste of the startup ecosystem as well. And to cap it all off, you have a 6 month project, so to say, in your final semester, where you are working with a long term problem that one of the organizations is trying to solve. So that kind of prepares you for a diverse range of uh, uh, problems, or a diverse range of experiences that are heading your way when you join whatever stream that you are joining, right? In corporate, or you are joining a startup, or whatever, or you are starting off on your own. But these kind of experiences really prepare you, and the fact that these experiences come in so naturally and so easily to folks who are in SJMSOM makes it much easier when for folks from SOM to be prepared when they go into any of these environments, when you compare it with the other folks, and they go in with that much stronger perspective, that much stronger understanding, as well as kind of a view in terms of expecting what is going to come, and that holds in my personal experience students from SOM in a very strong stead at the start of their careers. Beyond that, it's really up to you how you really build it, but those first 2 3 years of your career, where this platform really matters, I think SOM does a wonderful job in terms of providing that.
Thank you, Nihar. Rightly said. I think yes, the kind of opportunities that you get are actually make you believe and make you stand still, and so that you can face the corporate heat over there. So it's great in that terms. So now I think we'll move on to another part of the discussion, wherein we all know that the CAT exam is already done this year, and students are filling out forms for various B schools. So, what advice would you give them for regarding their PI preps, which is going to come really soon? So, Bansal, you can go ahead.
Yeah, sure, Ayush. So I think one of the things that I did while selecting the colleges that I wanted to opt for while for MBA was to prioritize the kind of colleges according to my own my own which colleges would align with my priorities and what I wanted to pursue after MBA. So I think that can be a good start to first list out the calls that the aspirant has from whichever colleges, and what are the strengths of those colleges, and what we are looking for from an MBA course. Then maybe you can look at the selection criteria that each and every college has, and prepare a structure accordingly. And if you are already sure about the domain that you want to pursue in, then maybe a little bit of a background knowledge about that course, if you don't have a prior experience in that particular field, will do a good job. Like there are a few books that I had read when I was preparing for my personal interviews. So for operations related, I think there are a few books like The Goal and Toyota Way, which are a good start for for anybody who is not from an operations background. So even if you can go through the gist of it, I think that will serve a good understanding for the aspirant also, and that will create a good impression in terms of the interviewer also, that okay, he is interested in this particular field and he has done the kind of homework needed, and he's a bit prepared for the courses to come during his MBA journey. Apart from then, there are a few general things that any aspirant should prepare about. Those are the, I think, the general awareness section, which those type of questions generally come in almost all of the interviews, because as an MBA graduate, you would not just be related to your own field, but you would be handling a certain aspect of the business which is related to the what is happening in the outside world also, and that kind of big picture perspective is needed. I think that is looked for even as you prepare for your interview experience. So I think being aware about what is currently happening in the world, how various situations and various even the political developments in various countries are shaping the economy and particularly the business world, and especially about the domain that you are interested in. So if you can correlate them and explain those during the interview, I think that can help. So I think those are the few points which I can think of right now. Yeah.
Yes. So I think basically it's more about having a clarity of what you want to do. Secondly, you can prepare about your undergraduation subjects, the basic concepts which are there, and the streams which you have a work experience in wherever you had, and a common understanding of current affairs and what is going around you. That will help you in your PI prep, and will make sure that you do well in your interviews. So now we then go on to the next section, which is a very important part. And have you already seen that Nihar, who was in operations, has transformed into consulting, and Shrey, who was in actually consulting, has gone into operations. So like this is a very it's something that people are not able to understand at how do they choose their domain. Like just a year back, while I was also preparing for my MBA, I was quite confused about how to choose a domain. Like how does the transition happen? Like from someone who wants to who is in operations and want to go in marketing now, or someone who's a fresher now. How should he choose? How should he get the clarification about these things? So is there a way through, like, so that one can be sure of that which domain is best suited for him or her? So can you just answer this very important question? Shrey, you can go ahead. Shrey or Nihar, anyone who you feel can go ahead.
I would have Nihar go first. He was my senior in
Huh?
college, so this is my time to give him respect. Nihar, please.
No, it's all right. All right. So see, I think when I joined, right, I can speak from my own experience. And when I joined, I did not have that clarity. I did have a little bit of clarity in terms of what I do not want to do, but I was not sure what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to get into finance, or I wanted to get into consulting, or I wanted to get into, operations. Um, and to be honest, it's not a choice that you need to be really clear about when you are joining an MBA program, right? The fact that at least some offers an MBA, which is a general MBA, and in general any B school that you join, the first year is always you learn about all the subjects. So I think it's more important to understand why you want to do an MBA than being upfront and clear in terms of what you want to do beforehand, and then utilize that first year that you have in terms of exploring each of these areas, and I'm sure any of the candidates would get ample of opportunities to do that over a period of 1 year, and then see where your interest really lies, and then chart out your path from there. And again, it might happen like it happened with me, that placements are like a lucky draw, and I was like, okay, consulting is there, operations is there, finance is there, I'll apply for all three wherever I get through, and then we'll see where we go from there. But then and I eventually ended up in operations and supply chain. But again, there's always a time to kind of even when middle of your career or at the start of your career, to make that switch in a adjoining kind of a role, and then kind of transition from there. So if you're working in something like operations, like I was, and then you suddenly want to switch to a core marketing role, you might not get the value for your experience. You might still get the job, but you might not get the value for experience. So it's always smarter that way to switch to something that is adjoining. So for example, what I did was, from supply chain or an operation kind of a role, I joined into a supply chain consulting focused strategy role, right? And then I moved to a broader strategy role, which encompasses the overall strategy, which now includes your go to markets and your growth strategies and so on and so forth. So it's easier for another organization also to palette your switch when it's in an adjoining or a sister field, and that's how if you want to make a transition over a period of time in your career, you can also do that. But to sum up what I was saying, I think MBA is meant to help you out, figure out what you want to do, and then over a period of time in your career as well, it's not that tough to make a switch. So if you've gotten into a particular kind of role, you can always transition into a different role that suits your career, or meets your aspirations as your career also evolves. So
yeah, so I think Nihar is spot on. There are times in your career when you want to change the trajectory. So my suggestion to all the aspirants would be don't worry about running immediately. First learn to stand on your feet, start walking, and then start running. Then you decide whether you want to run a marathon or sprint, 100-meter, 400 meters. So take one step at a time. Use your next 2 years in college in the best way possible. By that I mean academics will give you a good forecast into how your career might shape. So for example, a lot of students want to make their career in finance. I was one of those, and when I started studying accounting courses and finance courses, I immediately realized this is not something I could do for life. I never thought I could get into consulting because I had and still have a bit of introvert personality. But as it turned out, I got into consulting through a competition, which means I was better than the rest, right? So things will keep evolving. You will uncover various facets of your personality once you enter the college. Just ensure you put yourself out of your comfort zone. Study books, talk to people, understand pros and cons. If you want to try anything, let's say you have been from operation background and you want to try marketing, internships are the good opportunities. Try marketing in your internships. If you like, continue. If you don't like, you can change your trajectory in the second year of your MBA. So you will get those opportunities. Just don't stress too much about which stream you want to get into. What I've seen over the last few years is people in consulting have moved to finance. People in consulting have moved to product management as well. Nihar just explained how he moved from manufacturing to consulting. It's a journey you have to take. You have to find different stepping stones which you can take and then eventually land where you want to. I moved from consulting into manufacturing, but I'm still not in operations. I'm more into process transformation, which again is internal consulting. So you will get those opportunities over a period. You will also understand what you like, what you dislike, what is good for you in long run. So don't stress too much right away about which domain you want to take, because trust me, like Nihar said, your choices are dynamic. Those will keep on changing over a period of time. But just make sure you do a good due diligence, talk to people, read as much as you can while making any choices.
Thank you, Nihar and Shrey. I think this rightly answers this question that you actually need to try and just keep learning and keep trying, and with experience, you'll get to cover understand what your niche is basically. Okay, so I think today we have discussed a lot of questions and answered a lot of them also. So, do you have any last thoughts or advice that you would like to share with us that would actually be helpful for the coming batch, which is SOM 25? So, Bansal, you can go ahead.
Sure. So firstly, I would like to say that SOM, like we already talked about, a variety of avenue of opportunities are available in SOM. So I think SOM, the most of the activities and the induction, right from the induction till the placement, preparation to the overall placement committee, and the whole process is majorly driven by students only. So I think there is a very good structure in place, right? At in our batch also we had the whole 15 days induction program where we were divided into various groups over the period of days, and there were a lot of activities for team building, getting to know the peers, the kind of overall infrastructure IIT has. So I think make use of this induction period up to its maximum potential, and try to interact with as many batchmates as possible, as well as seniors. I think that was one thing that could really break the ice. That is something that as you join, you come into a new environment. This is something that it is really needed, and SOM has a very good structure in place. I think year on year they are adding more activities and try to make the whole induction program as much interactive and wholesome as possible. And I think, yeah, and try to maximize the infrastructure and the whole extracurricular activities, like Nihar and Shrey already mentioned, that apart from just our SOM and MBA program, there are a whole lot of electives that are there. So even if for someone who is not sure about what he wants to, I think SOM is one of those places where he can explore as many opportunities as he wants to, and then figure out what he wants to do in his life. So I think those are one of the few points that I would like to give advice to the next upcoming batch. Yeah.
Thank you, Bansal. Nihar, you can go ahead.
Sure. So I think Bansal pretty much summed it up. Um, the 2 years in MBA or something, some of the opportunities that after a while you realize you are not going to get those again, right? So I think if you're looking for a switch in terms of changing the track of your career, this is probably the best time for you to do it. So you had one kind of an experience, but you want to move to a different kind of an industry. I think this is the easiest juncture. Not that you can't do it later on, but I think this is the easiest juncture to do it. And if you're joining like me as a fresher, I think this is the time for you to explore, find out what really works for you, find out what makes you tick, and try and go and pursue it, find ways to do it. um, Again, if you're joining SOM, like Bansal said, make most of all the facilities and all the opportunities that you get. So I'll just at the risk of repeating myself, I'll say that I had the chance to work on with a startup. I had a chance to work on a project with Hershey's, which was around new product introduction. I had a chance to intern with one of the best fast moving consumer durables, Asian Paints. I had a chance to I had almost joined Shrey's organization as well, GP, where I had a chance to go in through case competitions, and again the 6 months that you have at the end, which I did again with another startup, where we actually drew out their end-to-end business plan. So this kind of variety of experiences is something that will help you chart out your path, choose your path. And I think these 2 years are to make the most of it. But of course, we should not miss the fun, right? Some of the fondest memories of my life are from SOM days, right? And again, very. So it's so for a fresher like me, it was like a coming of age experience, right? It molded me into the person I am. And um, and and as I look back, I think I really enjoyed the 2 years, and I'm sure anyone joining V school would look forward to that, and I'm sure it would be a wonderful experience for them.
Thank you, Nihar. Shrey, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think since Nihar spoke about the perspective of freshers, I'll just add how an experienced professional should use these 2 years. And I'll tell you some operational aspects, So if you talk about the overall 2-year journey, my suggestion to students would be first semester, follow the system, because those are the best practices which have evolved over a period of time. There are things, there are certain must do things, there are certain nice to do things. Make sure you do must to do things in first semester. You get second a very good semester where to interact with your seniors. So your second semester should be utilized to build that network with your seniors, learn from their experiences. Internship to probably understand yourself, do your own SWOT analysis, what you like and dislike. Third semester, as you enter, again there is focus on placements. So and business competitions, right? So do participate heavily in those competitions. And then you get fourth semester where you can utilize all the IIT Bombay facilities, sports, extracurriculars, so on and so forth. So that's how I would break those 4 semesters, how they should be best utilized by any student. When I entered IIT Bombay, and one of the biggest reason I chose IIT Bombay was I knew the hostel culture of IIT Bombay was very rich. Before that, I did my engineering from BITS Goa, and I really loved hostel life, which I wanted to relive again. So I chose IIT Bombay, and I can tell you, like Nihar also said, those 2 years are really memorable. I won't recommend students to stay in their hostels 24/7, but definitely will make some lasting memories and lasting friendships through those hostel days. So yeah, like Nihar said, and Bansal also said that enjoyment is also necessary, which comes as a part of package when you join SOM.
Thank you, Shrey. I think yes, can go.
Yes, I should like Shrey just mentioned about the overall semester structure that IIT and SOM follows. So I just remembered one point that I would like to add. Since it follows a semester structure, though I think there is a little bit of gap between each semester, the kind of vacation period that is very long and which is unheard of if about in different B schools. So maybe an aspirant or the upcoming batch can also plan out. I have seen many of my batchmates even going for a winter internship during this vacation period to just to enhance not to build their CV but also to explore opportunities in a different field also. One in which they had not done or maybe they did not get a chance to grab the internship during the overall structured program. So I think one can also plan out in a way that he can utilize this vacation period in a maximized manner, and like Shrey and Nihar mentioned, at the end of the day it's all about the overall experience that will eventually help you a lot in the later run of your career. So I think this semester structure is something that is unique to the whole SOM program, and one that you can plan, like Shrey mentioned, in a optimized manner. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Bansal. I think these 2 years are going to be great for anyone who's going to join the MBA program. And I think now we come to the end of this discussion, and I think it would be very beneficial for any B school aspirant in their PI preps or choosing the right college or taking a decision in such manner. So we wish all the aspirants all the very best for their future. And now, on behalf of Shailesh Mehta School of Management, I would like to thank all of you for being a part of this discussion and giving your valuable guidance and inputs to the aspirants. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.